What if I told you we can build $1 million business and we can do it in 12 months? Would you believe me? Well, that's exactly what we're doing. Let's make sure we get NC live on here. We get NC on here. We get NC. All right, we're good. We're in there. We're in it to win it. Listen, family, welcome back. Today is what is today? Man, what is today? Man, all these days are flying. February the 11th. So today is February the 11th, 2026. We're live and this thing is action packed. Welcome back, hustlers. Welcome back, game changers. Welcome back, all those people that are looking to change their lives. Welcome and thank you for joining. Man, we're on episode 23 already. Episode 23. We rocking in this thing. Listen, if you're a first time joiner, thank you for joining. If this is your repeat, thank you for coming back. If you're interested in learning more about like what you missed out, because this is episode 23, you can go to my the link that's in the bio, the QR code, click on that, go to my link in the bio, go to my YouTube page. I created a playlist called Building a $1 Million Business. Every single one of these episodes is in there. They're only 30 minutes long. They're action-packed, tons of insight and information to help you build out your $1 million business as well. So what if I told you you can build a $1 million business and do it in 12 months? Would you believe me? Well, it's possible. And every day we're going behind the scenes to show you just exactly how it's done. Basically, I'm showing you how the sausage is built, right? So if you don't like the look at sausage, don't eat it, but we can make money off of it. Listen, welcome and thank you, family. We're building a $1 million business and we're doing it from scratch. Episode 23. We're already on 23. We kicked this thing off January the 11th. So you know we've been running through this. It's been live. It's been action-packed. Your questions have been answered. I appreciate the DMs after the fact. All the people that's been joining the newsletter has been absolutely phenomenal. We're almost up to 6,000 people who've joined the newsletter. And it's only been, like I said, 30 days now. So the thing is getting popping. You guys are seeing tons of value in this. Today, man, what are we talking about today? What are we talking about today? Today, we're talking about the DM strategy and converting your followers into customers. That's what we're going to be hitting on today. But listen, if this is your first time here, thank you and welcome. I'm Patrick Hart, known as that healthcare guy across social media. I've been in the game for a period of time. Former Army, military. God, I can't even speak today. Let me get it out. I'm a veteran, spent 6 years in the Army, did 2 tours overseas. I spent over almost 20 years in healthcare, became an executive, sold a technology company at the end of 2018. I became a full-time entrepreneur in 2023. I've been 3 years into the game, full entrepreneur at this point. What am I doing today? I'm publicly building a $1 million business, growing it to 50,000 subscribers, and I'm doing it in front of you guys. I'm doing it with you guys. So thank you for joining. Every single episode is designed to do one thing: push you farther, give you more insight, help you build the life that you've been looking to build. And a lot of the people who rock with me, you may identify yourself with this. You're either a mid-level professional looking to establish the next version of what your career looks like. You're an entrepreneur, small business owner. You're looking to grow wealth, or your side hustle. If that's you, you're in the right place. This is why we're here. We're here to grow a $1 million business. So that's me. I want to make sure the chat boxes are always open. Today, we're going to be streaming across LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, as well as YouTube and Facebook. Okay, I did say Facebook. And why we're using all these channels: one, reach, right? We want visibility. We want reach. 2, eventually at some point, we're going to get to the point where we start investing real dollars in our business, right? And we need to know where the best ROI comes from, and that's return on investment. So it's so important to, map out all your channels, figure out what's going to work for you, what messaging, what talking points, what DM strategies, all that will be revealed here in 2026. So once again, thank you and welcome for joining. I just want to say that chat box is going to be open. You can drop questions as we go through this. And if it's your first time joining, make sure you sign up for the newsletter. So if you're here by referral recommendation, listen, those go a long way. Those go a long way. I'm building out this $1 million business, and there's 2 different goals we have this year. Grow, obviously hit $1 million. The second is to build our newsletter up to 50,000 subscribers. Why is the second goal so important to me? One, because as a business owner, it's so important to have an ecosystem of people who rock with you, people who get down with you, people who see value of what you bring to the table. Those are going to be the people who ended up buying from you and continue to support you even well after the fact, right? So we're creating relationships, we're creating an ecosystem, but also in that ecosystem, you gain insight and education into hustlers just like you who've been on that path trying to get to where you're trying to get to, right? So I'm dropping the game. I'm always going to introduce you to people and give you tons of insight. So thank you for joining. We're talking about the DM strategy, converting customers into followers today. So listen, this episode, this is where people realize sales is not persuasion, it's diagnosis. We need to understand that. You're not convincing strangers. We're not trying to do that. You're identifying alignment. If your DMs, they feel hard right now, if they're feeling hard, you're trying to close way too early. We want to get away from that. If they feel really easy to you at this point, you're having the right conversations. So let's reframe selling. Thank you, family. I see TikTok is joined. Listen, if you're on TikTok, I've only been using TikTok for like 6 months now. I've been seeing the love. So thank you, family. I appreciate the love. We're growing $1 million business, and I'm giving you the tools, the insights, the behind the scenes strategies to show you just how. We're on episode 23. There's 22 other episodes. Make sure you check those out. The links are in the bio. Sign up for the newsletter if you haven't done that, and invite people to come back to this. So I want you guys to reframe selling really quick, okay? Because a lot of people get stuck. They're a small business owner. They're an entrepreneur. They're looking to start their side hustle, but they have a problem selling, putting themselves out there, asking somebody to make a commitment, putting your link out there for somebody to make a purchase. We got to get passive, right? I want you to reframe what selling actually is. I want you to think about it like this really quick. Think about marketing. Once you do marketing right, marketing creates interest in your company, in you, who you are, in your product, services, solutions, whatever you're selling. Your content builds trust. So we normally build content support, our business, right? Your DMs create decisions, okay? And most people, they try to sell inside of a post. That's not how you sell anything. And we're going to tackle that today. We can't sell inside of a post and expect to make $1 million here in 2026. Sales actually happens in private conversations because people ask real questions there. They feel that it's one-on-one. It feels personal to them. Know this, public equals inspiration. So when you see posts, those public posts, they're designed for inspiration, but private, like DMs, equal commitment. And that's what we're looking for. We want to turn our casual followers, we want to turn those people into buying customers or into customers that actually rock with us and support us. Listen, if this is your first time here, thank you for joining. Sign up for the newsletter. It's called Hustling 25/8. There's a link top right-hand corner. Depending on where you see the stream from, there's a floating banner that has the link on there as well. There's also a link in my bio. Sign up for the newsletter. We're growing at the 50,000 subscribers. Today we have about 6,000, but we have still 11 months to get there. So with your support, we're gonna get there. Remember, as always, the chat boxes are always open. So as you drop comments, I can see them across my multiple screens right here, and I try to work through those comments as well as my talking points. Time check, we're good on time check, so we're good. So let's continue this baby off. The DM funnel. It's relationship before revenue. I want you to understand that when we're talking about DMs, it's relationships before revenue, and a lot of people get this wrong, right? Here's the sequence, because sequence actually matters. If you get it wrong, you get no sales. You get it right, you get real conversations that actually leads to sales, okay? So remember, we want relationships before revenue. A lot of people try to put revenue before relationship, and then they're wondering why they're not growing their business. It's because you're putting yourself out there first, but you're not actually having a building or establishing a network of people who rock with you, and that's so freaking important. People buy familiarity. They're not discovery. Okay, you have to be familiar to them. The more time you've seen these commercials, right? You see them in the Super Bowl, you see them outside of the Super Bowl, and they repeat the same commercial over and over. The Miller Lite commercial, the Coors, the Bud Lights, the Geico commercials. You name these commercials, you see them over and over and over again. So when you start thinking about insurance or when you start thinking about a beverage, what are you thinking about? You recall those commercials that you see. It's the same thing that happens with your business. The way you're growing yourself, you have to put the relationship before the revenue. And that relationship meaning you're just visible enough where they remember who you are, what you bring to the table, and the products and or solutions that you bring to the table. Your funnel is really a familiarity ladder. That's how I want you to think of your sales funnel. It's a familiarity ladder where people begin to get familiar with you. People, what they see, they start to see you repeatedly, right? And this is what we're looking for. We want them to see us repeatedly. Then people, they start to interact with you casually. Casually, they'll drop, oh, that was good, thank you. Or I saw the value in that, they're at their 2 cents. The next thing, people start to recognize your perspective, meaning they're starting to rock with the way you think, right? They start to rock with your product, services, and or solutions. They're rocking with it. And then people start trusting that they understand who you are more, right? Once we build that, now they consider buying from you. So a lot of people, you're putting revenue before the relationship, but the relationship has to happen first if your DM strategy is going to help you lead to close sales and growing $1 million business. Listen, family, they're starting to feed in across Instagram. They're starting to feed in across TikTok. I see my LinkedIn family as well as my YouTube family. Thank you guys for joining. Thanks for rocking with your boy. What are we doing? We're building $1 million business and we're doing it from scratch. We're starting from the ground up, right? And I'm showing you exactly how the business is built from behind the scenes. So if it's your first time joining, we're on episode 23. There's 22 other episodes behind the scenes. Go to my YouTube page. There's a playlist called Building $1 Million Business. Check those out. I think you're going to find tons of insight in here. Here's the pre-DM phase you need to understand. 90% of sales happen before the first message. 90% of sales. And you're like, what? What? Really? Yeah, because what happened is you're warming up your contact, right? By consistently commenting, right? And a lot of us, if you're not doing this is what you need to be doing. You're consistently, you consistently commenting. The other thing too is you're doing thoughtful replies, and then you're sharing insights, and then you're reacting to their stories and or their posts, and then by the time you hit with a DM, you're not a stranger anymore because they've been seeing you. They've been seeing you've been following their journey. They've been seeing you've been commenting on their posts. They've been seeing you've been interacting with everything they've been doing. So this is the pre-phase before you start DM people. You have to understand who your target audience is, and you got to rock with them first because where relationships is over revenue. And once you get that, your DM strategy is going to amplify, and you're going to start seeing those conversions happen for you. So here's what not to do with your first DM, because people get this wrong all the time. You don't know how many people I talk to behind the scenes and they get this wrong. They're looking for coaching. They're looking for people to help them blow up their business. They're looking to help them get to $1 million. They're looking for their first $100,000, right? This is what people end up doing wrong all the time. The first thing they start doing is they start pitching. Right at the first DM that they hitting somebody is you're pitching. No, don't listen. No pitching. We're not doing that yet, right? Don't start sending people links to your websites, links to your newsletter, links to your favorite. F that. We're not doing that. No links, no pitching, no links, no paragraph introductions. Nobody cares who the crap you are at this point. You think it's valuable to introduce yourself and say, oh, I'm Patrick and I do this and I do that, blah, blah, blah. Nobody freaking cares. At the end of the day, remember, people are looking for transformation. What can you do for them, right? This long introduction that means nothing. If you slide in my DM like that, I'm deleting that because you're wasting my time. I'm trying to solve real world problems. Like I'm trying to build $1 million business. So if you're not approaching me with that approach right there, hey Pat, I saw what you're doing and I'm loving that you're doing and you're building a relationship. And then later you slide in my DM, listen, I got a solution for this and this is what it is. Now I'm more likely to listen to you. But if your first thing is to pitch me, to send me links or give me this long introduction of who you are, your DM is going to trash. So don't do that in your business. What your DM should do, it should continue the conversation that they've already started publicly, right? So people generally put their thoughts out there, they put their business out there, they put their frustrations out there, and they're doing it online. And these are the people that you're following, right? So when you start DMing somebody, the only thing you're doing is you're taking that conversation that they put publicly, you're taking it offline, mainly it's in a chat between you and them. And then, so basically you're relocating the conversation and you're starting that conversation anew within that DM. So I want you to focus on that. You start your DM with the conversation that's already been put out there, and then you move that to a private conversation, a chat between you and that person. If you're sending links, you're sending paragraphs, you're sending these long intros, you're trying to pitch way too early, you're going to get left out. And that's why your DMs are not working. That's why your business is not selling anything. That's why you're not going to hit 100,000, 200,000, 300,000, 400,000, 500,000, let alone $1 million here in 2026. The other thing too, is you want to start filtering your buyers early. Okay. What do I mean by that? What are we doing? We're listening for signals. We're watching for signals. We're identifying the signals, meaning the problem awareness, the urgency or lack of urgency that they have, the past attempts that they've talked about, the decision authorities where they lack decision, right? Not everyone needs convincing at this point. We need to understand that. Some just need direction, right? And sometimes we're trying to oversell when we're not actively listening, right? Your job is to find the ones who's ready to buy your products, services, and or solutions. So that's what we're looking for. So let's talk about the DM outreach strategy really quick. It's about intentional targeting. We need to be intentional about targeting. Pause really quick. So many people are coming in here, and I just want to say thank you and welcome for joining. My TikTok is starting to blow up. LinkedIn is starting to blow up. Instagram is starting to blow up. YouTube family is starting to show up. Thank you and welcome for joining. If you haven't signed up for the newsletter, sign up for the newsletter, Hustling 25/8. There's multiple different ways. There's a link top right hand corner. You can go to the link in the bio, sign up for the newsletter, or if there's a floating banner depending on your screen, type that into your browser, go to the newsletter, sign up for that. So thank you. Go check out the other 22 episodes. I created a playlist on my YouTube page. It's called Building $1 Million Business. Those are free to watch right now. Eventually, I may turn those into a course. So let's talk about your DM strategy really quick. It's about intentional targeting. It's not random outreach. A lot of people just randomly want to reach out to people, and they're hopeful that their message lands in the right inbox at the right moment and people are ready to buy at that time. That's not a strategy, guys. That's really not a strategy, okay? So your DM should not be random. It should be thoughtful. It should be intentional, and you should know who your target audience is. You're targeting behavior, not demographics, right? So we're focused on the behavior. We're looking for people who are doing what, Pat? Who are doing what? Asking questions, sharing their frustrations, announcing the goals that they have for themselves. They're celebrating the attempts, and they're seeking advice publicly. Those are the people, they're open to your help, okay? I say that again. They're asking questions, they're sharing frustrations, they're announcing goals, they're celebrating attempts, and they're seeking advice publicly. These are the people that we should be DM. And here's your daily active structure. I want to break this down real quick. You want to break your DMs into blocks, right? Instead of constant messaging everybody every single time, you should have like an engagement block. This is where you're engaging with people. You should have a conversation block where you're truly having conversations with people. And then you should have a follow-up or follow back block. These are conversations that have already been established, but they just haven't moved the needle into a sale yet. So those are 3 blocks. Why should we block out our DMs? Because it's going to prevent burnout, and it's going to improve your quality of that DM actually becoming more effective. Okay. So I see the families joining again. Thank you guys for joining. What are we talking about today? We're talking about turning your DMs and your followers into paid customers. That's what we're doing. And there's a strategy behind everything that we need to do. So here's a concept that I want to share with you. Time check. I got 13 minutes, so we're good. Here's a concept that I want to share with you. You don't need thousands of conversations. That's not what we need. We need consistent conversations. Small daily outreach, it compounds trust over time, right? So we're not looking for thousands of conversations. We just need consistent conversations. And so that means every single day we're having a new conversation with someone that we've identified as a target that can help. Our products and or services solutions can help them solve their real world problems, right? Here's some platform difference you need to understand, because the strategy, it doesn't quite work the same across every single platform. LinkedIn, if you're on LinkedIn, this is where careers and career and growth problems occur. This is generally what you're going to find on LinkedIn. So we need to be making sure we're focused on that. If you're on Instagram, it's about identity and lifestyle problems, right? Those are the problems that they're trying to solve on Instagram. If you're on X, it's about ideas and strategy problems. Your offer doesn't change. Your offer is still the same, right? You're different. Your conversation, there's just different ways you enter the conversation. So you can't enter the conversation the same as you do on Instagram, on LinkedIn, or on X as you do on Instagram, right? It's got to be different. So you need to understand it. LinkedIn is career and growth problems. Instagram is identity and lifestyle problems. And X is ideas and strategy problems. Same offer. Your offer doesn't change. However, the conversation or the entry point into that conversation changes. Let's talk about the sales conversation flow, all right? Really, really quick, because I like to talk. I'm pressed for time, but I got a lot to talk about, and I got a lot of good stuff that I want to share with you. And remember, this stuff is free. Share it with somebody. If y'all know somebody who's like-minded like you, who's trying to build their side hustle, who's trying to build their business, and they're interested in learning, I do these daily at noon Central Standard Time. I'm on episode 23, so there's 22 other episodes. You can go back and check out those episodes on my YouTube page. I created a whole playlist called Building $1 Million Business. Check that out. So here's the sales conversation flow. It should feel natural. If it doesn't feel natural, we're doing this wrong, okay? So here's the real structure behind what a natural conversations is like. 1, we understand their situation. It's so important. You got to start there. You're understanding their situation. 2, you're identifying the gaps that they have in their business, right? Or the problems that they're trying to solve that you know that you can help solve. 3 is we're confirming their desire that they want to change, right? It's so important. Like they want to get away from that thing that's been irking them that they can't get past, right? So that's 3. And then four is where we present our solutions, okay? Notice we didn't start with 4 first. 4 was at the end of it. So it was understand the situation, identify the gaps, confirm the desire to change, and then present the solution. Because you're not diagnosing, right? You're not diagnosing and you're not presenting at this point. At this point, we're providing solutions based off of the information that we've already found to be of interest to us that we know that we can help them solve. So let's talk about the listening ratio, because a lot of people get this wrong. Remember, I used to be a former healthcare executive, sold a multi-million-dollar technology company at the end of 2018. I've had massive teams that have been not only here stateside, but also international teams as well. This is not my first rodeo. So if it's your first time and you're like, oh, let's judge this guy, listen, go check out my resume. Go check out my portfolio. Go check out the things that I've done. I'm not a fly-by-night individual. I'm doing this stuff 100% free. I'm building $1 million business, showing you how to do it only because I believe in impact. That's just as important to me. So my impact is to help you, like-minded individuals like you, find the life that you've been looking to build the kind of income, the wealth that you've been looking to establish for yourself. Tap in with my newsletter. It's called Hustling 25-8. Everything, you know where to find the links at this point. So let's get to it. So let's talk about the listening ratio. You should talk less than half the time of your prospect and or your customer. A lot of us, we talk way too much. We talk ourselves out of sales right here. When you explain, when people explain their problem to you out loud, they're already selling themselves on solving it. What happens is we're not actively listening to the problems that they're sharing, and we're already pitching a solution. They're going to sell themselves if you allow themselves to verbalize what's going on in their business, and if you pair it to the solution that you can provide, now you're going to be a lot more effective. I appreciate the love. I appreciate the hearts. Thank you, family. I see you. Why does this work? Why does this work? Pat, tell me, why does it work? Because people don't resist buying. They resist being pushed. If you're pushing somebody to buy something, that's where you're going to fall short. That's not what we're doing. When they feel understood, when your target audience feel understood, then the decision feels like it's theirs to make, not yours to offer. Don't get that wrong, okay? That's why it works. So here's some critical mistakes. Really quick, time check. I got 8 minutes. Let me get to it, family. Remember, the comment chat box is open. I try to work them as they come in. So here's some critical mistakes that I see people making behind the scenes. Don't present your offer at the first mention of the pain that you hear. I hear it all the time. Somebody, I got a problem with this. And the first thing you're doing is you're pitching. Oh, I can do this and this. What? Listen, pause, pay attention, slow it down. Let's collect ourselves, get all the information, and then let's work through our strategy. Let's work through the steps so we can get to the effective DM strategy. Okay. First, confirm their seriousness. Okay. So when you hear pain, pause. You want to confirm if it's really a real pain, right? So we're confirming the seriousness. Next, ask, have they tried solving it? How many different ways have they tried solving it? What have they tried to solve it? We want more clarity on our part. And then the other thing we want to find out, do they care enough to change it? A lot of people just verbally say they got a problem, but they don't really care enough to change it. And yet you're trying to fix a problem that they don't even care about. Let's not do that. Right? We need to first understand if they care enough about changing it, because this provides motivation, right? If this was a murder, this would be the motive, right? This is what we're looking for. And then we want to ask some follow-up questions. Well, what happens if you don't solve that problem this year, right? You want to pause, be quiet, and all that information, because now it's going to settle in them, and then they're going to start thinking about all the negativity that is going to come from not solving that problem, right? And then urgency at this point determines your conversion more than price. Because once you have all that information, we've created enough urgency, and now we're pitching and we're talking about, I have a solution for that. Now it's more valuable than whatever the price it was that you're going to pitch at this point, because we've identified their problem, we listened to them, we found out that they want to change it, and now we're creating, we're creating a plan around that. My phone is going off. My goodness, nobody wants to call you until you're actually in a live. You know, it always happens that way. So let's get into this really quick. How do I do? I'm good on time check. Okay, great. Let's get into the objection handling and closing part. But really quick, pause. You know, I got to pause. Thank you, family, for joining. Listen. Thank you. I'm not about to close yet, but I'm close. I'm a few minutes away from closing. Thank you as always for joining Rocking with your boy. This is episode 23, and this is the DM strategy, and we're talking about how to effectively turn your followers into a conversion, right? So important. There's 22 other episodes. Go back and check those episodes. If you thought this was valuable, check out the other 22. The other 22 is just as valuable. I created a playlist on my YouTube. It's called Building $1 Million Business. If you're a LinkedIn follower, right, and you're on my LinkedIn right now, and you go to my events tab, underneath the events tab, there's going to be all my previous lives that you're going to see there as well. Now, here's my call to action for you guys. Check out those lives right now, because we know algorithms change. We know these social sites change. They're trying to free up space for content, and sometimes these things get deleted. So I can't guarantee that these things are going to be there forever. So check them out while they're still live, and they're free for you as well. Okay, so go ahead and check those out. The other thing too is sign up for the newsletter. If you haven't signed up for the newsletter, it's called Hustling 25/8. There's a link top right hand corner of the bio. There's a floating banner, or there's a link in my bio. Sign up for that. Not yesterday. Sign up for that today. There's going to be valuable, tons of insight. If you're a mid-level professional looking to grow your career, you're in the right place. If you're a small business owner, entrepreneur, looking for insights, strategies, tools, tips, and techniques to help you get you past that hurdle that you haven't been getting around, you're in the right place. So make sure you tap into that newsletter. All right. Let's talk about objections really quick, because I only got a few minutes. Objections are not rejections. And I get this so many different times. People are talking to me behind the scenes and they feel defeated because they go out there with their DM strategy, and people are out the back say, no, I'm not interested. No, I'm not interested. No, I'm not interested. One, your problem is you probably haven't followed the steps that I just shared, right? But two is your mental reframe. We need to reframe that objections, they're not objections. They're they're not rejections. They're just uncertainty signals. That's all it is. Meaning people, they need more clarity in order to move forward. Here's some common objection meetings really quick. When someone hits you with, oh, it's too expensive, the only thing right now is just the value is unclear for them, right? So we need to clear it up. When someone says, oh, I need to think it over, I need to think about it, they're just unclear on their priority. Is it important enough to them to solve today? And if it's not, then we don't need to be wasting our time with those people, right? What if someone tells you, oh, I don't have the time to focus on this? Well, they're unclear about urgency. Is it even important to them to solve this year, right? And if those are the people that you're hearing, don't waste your time with that. You respond by clarifying the outcomes, not defending your price. A lot of times we think we need to defend our price. Oh, my course is $350, right? For this one course. Oh, but it's $350 because I got this and I got this, I got that. You're all defending. You know what I'm saying? No, we're not doing all that. So I want you to carry this closing mindset in every conversation. You don't close people. That's not what we're doing. You help them decide. Okay? Get out of their head that you're trying to close somebody, because that's not what you're doing. You're just trying to help people decide. It's so much softer for you internally, mentally, to process it like that. And it helps you stay focused on the outcomes you're trying to do, which is to grow your business right through your DM strategy. So we're just trying to help people decide. And if it's not a fit, you can say that confidently. Hey, listen, Pat, this is not going to be a fit for you. Or they can say it's not going to be a fit for them, but then we move on. There's no hard feelings, because this is going to increase trust as well as your conversions. Talk about follow-up strategy really quick, so I only have a couple of minutes. Most sales happen after the first conversation. A lot of you get defeated because I had one conversation with somebody and the sale didn't go anywhere. It generally happens after the first conversation. So it may take a few conversations for it to actually work. But don't think that you're going to close somebody on the first conversation in the DM. It doesn't work like that. Understand this too. Follow-up is not pressure. It's a continuation of the conversation. It's a check-in on the progress that they've been making. And you're sharing helpful insight to help them make sure that that converts in your favor. Okay. Lastly, what are we doing when we're following up? We're keeping the relationship alive. That's so important. You want to keep it alive. Listen, if the problems that I shared with you today, or if you're facing those problems right now, I put together an entire playbook on this very topic. You want to tap into my newsletter, go to the products tab, and you'll find your solution right there. And if you don't find the solution right there right now, remember, I only kicked this newsletter off like 30 days ago. So I'm still adding products on a weekly basis. Slide in my DM and say, hey, you found this valuable? And here's my problem. This is what I'm looking to solve. Maybe you can create a playbook on that. And then I will see how high it is on the priority list, how many other people are hitting me up on that specific topic. And I'll look at creating a playbook for you as well. So lastly here, I'm about to wrap this thing out. And when I wrap this out, I want to add this right here. High ticket items. If you're looking at closing, if you're a high ticket item seller, If those are going to close, they're going to close based off of trust. A lot of people say, I want everything I sell to be a high ticket item. You need those are going to close based off of trust. If you got low ticket items, those are going to close based off of clarity. Meaning when they click on a link, they simply know exactly what they're buy and exactly know what the outcome is going to be, right? Different offers require different conversation depths. Normally, your higher ticket items, they require a little bit more conversations because people need to understand not only the value, but clarify exactly the transformation they're going to get out of that particular service, product, or solution that you're offering, right? Those low ticket items, they should be plug and play. People are just buying the downloading tools, whatever that they need from you guys as well. All right, tomorrow we're going to be here, same time, same place, same energy, that hustling energy where we're going to get it each and every day. If you haven't signed up for the newsletter, sign up for that. Not yesterday, but when? Today, sign up for that. We're growing that baby to 50,000. We're generating $1 million in revenue. My job is to take you behind the scenes to show you how the business is made. And that's exactly what we're doing. Each and every day, we're building this thing out. Eventually, at some point, I'm going to turn this camera around. I'm going to show you. I mean, in fact, I don't even got to show you. Go to the website. You can see what we already put together. We got workflows. We got landing pages. We got tools. We got resources in there. Next thing that I'm building out is guest articles. So all these people that I collaborate with behind the scenes, there may be an opportunity for a guest article feature in that as well. Tap in with your boy. Make sure you follow your boy. Invite other people to these live same time tomorrow. I see you, family. Thank y'all for rocking with me. And until then, let's get it. Let's keep hustling.